and it just did not work. Now he does have a single tank there again, though. If Stork had managed to maybe kill off that tank en route, or if there had been a couple less vultures, in fact, then Stork would have been able to kill off those turrets and effectively kill off this push altogether. But instead, Flash is going to be able to keep the pressure alive, and Stork forced to fall back his Dragoons here, doing some really good micro, though, killing off those mines, managing to save all of his Dragoons. Nicely done! Beautiful, beautiful, ridiculous micro from Stork there. Just doing a wonderful, wonderful job of avoiding all those mines and still killing off all the mines and killing off the vultures, not losing a single Dragoon there. Beautifully done. Almost any lesser, most lesser Protosses would have had their Dragoons killed in that situation and would have been in really, really bad shape. I don't know if Flash knows about this bottom right base. I'm surprised he's not trying to send vultures over there or something like that. He's got siege tanks almost within range of Stork's natural expansion now. We're going to see in just a moment. Here's Flash's first-person view. He's moving his vultures, just keeping them around. There's still that single siege tank has been holding things off that whole time, and Stork actually killing off the mines next to his tank so that Stork cannot do a zealot bomb on those, but he's going to try and run some zealots in. No, their attack move, they try to attack the mines, they at least take out the mines. A single vulture gets in amongst the tanks. It's going to be able to take it out pretty quick by those vultures. Moving in with Dragoons, though, there's only 2 tanks there. He's moving in, he gets 2 tanks next to the siege tank. There's a single SCV repairing it. He's moving in more Dragoons, and he's going to be able to kill that off. And Flash is going to fall his reinforcements back to his base. Wow, that was crazy. And I was saying that, usually, I was just trying to say about how usually if you see more factories, this is an indication they're going to try and produce more units and not try and get more bases and tech and sort of things. And actually he did have a 5th factory. Did I see 6? I think I just saw 5. So he has actually gotten that command center up in the meantime as well. So correct. And there's the fleet beacon. Oh wow, not arbiters. Stork going for the carriers. He's been going carriers a lot lately. We're seeing a little bit of a resurgence in carriers in general in PvT play. And Stork is now busting out the carriers here. This is turning out to be a really, really close game. Flash, though, is going to get his 3rd base up, and Stork's still at just those 3 bases. Stork's probably going to expand here. Someone is doing something in the top left corner. It's hard to tell with the colors who's doing that, but I think Flash has something up there. He may have just an eBay floating up there just to scout. I'm not sure what's going on there, but Flash now is setting up his siege instead on the ramps there in the middle of the map, and Stork is spending all of his money on carriers now, on getting those carrier attack up, getting his carriers going. He's going to go for 3 Stargate carriers. Wow, so this is going to be crazy. We're going to see Stork bust out with some carriers, and it's going to be up to Flash. If Flash scouts this, to be honest, Stork is probably screwed. And it is it's a Stork of bases. It's a Stork of bases. It's a base of Storks, rather. It's Stork's trying to set up another ninja expansion in that top left corner, and a 4th Stargate going down. Stork is going crazy with the carrier attack. Crazy, crazy carriers. Crazy with a K. That's how crazy it is that the carriers are even starting with a K. And Flash is just really, really trying to set up a siege here and protect those 3 bases he has now. He's going to macro up off that, but Stork going with mad carriers, upgrading probably weapons upgrade for the carriers now, and he's starting to produce out of a couple Stargates now. Flash sends in some vultures. It looks like he didn't know that expansion was there, and so he just sent those in to see if anything was there, and it finds the pylon wall with a cannon behind it. He's not going to be able to get through with just vultures. He could probably... well, no, actually, Stork still has more map control. Stork can still move around. He does not quite have enough tanks to really move out and really put pressure on Stork anymore. He's going to have to... Flash is basically having to play defensively, so he can't move out and put too much pressure. Otherwise, he could send a tank down to that bottom right corner. If he does send a tank, Stork can probably wipe it up pretty quickly, though. And there's the first carrier, and Comsat goes off right on that clump of Stargates. So Flash knows all about it, and what I was going to say before is that if Flash scouts it, and 1-1 upgrades, or +1 weapons, just finishing for Flash there. So he's doing good on the upgrades. Stork also at +1 weapons upgrade. But he is basically going all in on this. Probably all 4. Well, no, not actually, not all in. He's got 4 Stargates and 4 bases, but he could probably still produce more units and that sort of thing. He may still get a 5th base at some point in the future. Wow. So anyway, if Flash wanted to put pressure on that bottom right-hand corner, Stork would probably be able to take care of it very easily. And I said that already. Oh yes, the point I was going to make is Flash is Goliath Micro versus Carriers. I mean, he is the living embodiment of it. He basically invented modern Goliath Micro, the hold position micro that everyone uses today to kill off the interceptors and what have you. Maybe he didn't invent it, but he's the one that made it completely successful when he was coming to power. And now he's actually doing basically a push here. He sees all those carriers in production. They don't have interceptors yet, and Flash is moving out. He's going to try and go in for the kill before those carriers are fully produced, before Stork can get a large clump of them. But a couple more have come out of the Stargate, and Stork is actually going to do a bit of a counterattack. There's a huge wall of metal in the way, and Flash is actually going to bring his forces back. He's leaving just a couple forces, just a small fraction of his forces to deal with that expansion there, while he sends his forces back to protect his main here. The wall of metal being completely obliterated, and there's the carriers are coming in to destroy those couple tanks they left behind. The carriers are up and running now. Stork is in a hugely dominant position now. Flash trying to get his forces back. What is he doing? He's stopping to kill his own supply depot or something there. Finally manages to get his forces back, and Stork, I believe, is going to have to withdraw. If he's smart, he's going to withdraw those Dragoons right now. And there's the carriers. Carriers are moving in now. Let's see what he's going to do. This is a very good map for, well, it's a relatively good map for carriers, as long as he has his carriers in the right position. He is Flash. Flash is just such a force to contend with when he has mass Goliaths, and that's exactly what he's been doing, is massing Goliaths ever since he saw those carriers. And here comes the carriers in from the side. There's a lot of Goliaths there, but if he can occupy the Goliaths with the carriers, he can do more damage to the Dragoons, but actually, never mind, his Dragoons are completely dead. He just got slaughtered. Stork, again, being a little bit sloppy with throwing his way his Dragoons on tank fire, and he's been doing that a lot the last few months, actually. It's really been hurting him. But he's got a bunch of carriers now. Out of those 4 Stargates, he's been able to produce a lot of carriers, and usually if it was just, 3 or 4 carriers, then that amount of Goliaths would have been able to easily kill off those carriers, but instead the carriers coming out ahead, and for some reason Stork falling back for a moment. I'm not sure why he didn't just try and polish off those last few Goliaths. Perhaps he was running low on interceptors, but Stork is really in a strong position now. He's got that carrier squad, and usually the vulnerable time, oh, and there's the Templar as well. He's going to be able to go in with the carriers, attack with the carriers, and then while all the forces are occupied with the carriers, he's going to send in the Zealots to suck up fire from the tanks and then storm the crap out of all the tanks and Goliath. This is going to be beautiful if we see it get pulled off. If we see this get pulled off, Stork will basically clinch the #1 spot in this group, or at least clinch a spot in this group. There's a lot of Goliaths out now here. He's just still depending on that squad of a few tanks that he has left, though, and he does not quite have the the Goliath count to really move forward and try and kill off those carriers. So even in the open field, Stork is able to really just micro his carriers around. Those Templars just waiting for the opportunity there. Is he going to be able to pick off? Oh, be careful. He needs to be careful, those Templar. Zealots running in, taking hits. Storm goes off on the tanks. Not as many as he could get. There's a nice storm there on all the tanks this time. The Zealots going in to wipe up the tanks as well. All those tanks have taken a storm. They're very low damage. The Stork coming in with the Dragoons as well. He's going to be able to clean this up very easily. He's got more than enough carriers to deal with the few Goliaths that are left. He's just going to run those carriers back to try and protect them a little bit and leave the Dragoons, but again, just leaving his Dragoons. Oh, and the Dark Templar running in from nowhere as well, just to wreak some havoc in the midst of all this, whilst Flash is distracted. But Flash does not get distracted. Still has the comm set, but Flash, GG's, his entire force completely slaughtered. Stork defeating Flash, defeating the ultimate weapon, who has seemed completely unstoppable the last month or so. I mean, since winning Dom, Flash has been back in it, and Stork has got to be excited. He deserves that smile. Beating one of his older rivals and beating basically the main thing in the way of his chance at the OSL in this game. I mean, this is just the round of 16, so obviously they may meet again. If Flash gets out of the #2 spot, they may meet again in the round of in the semifinals. Actually, that will be an exciting semifinal. I hope we get to see that. But I'm still rooting for Quanro too, I guess. Hope he can make it out. But Jesus, Quanro is just such a tough group with these two guys in it, and it's going to be really tough for him to get out. But congrats to Stork. My man Stork has been playing a little bit off his game lately. Hopefully we're seeing what is it? The Supreme Commander of Making No Mistakes is what they called him once. Hopefully we're seeing him back in no mistakes form. And there he is showing off his medals. That's right, you the man, Stork. Alright, thanks for watching. GG.